Who still hasn't recovered from his horrendous performance and big ratings drop as host of the Academy Awards, especially when he showed he suffered from TDS, commonly known as Trump derangement syndrome. And the winner is, instead, he stammered around as he opened the envelope. Supposedly, his wife and even management begged him not to do it by his use of the word vaunted. He was even able to spell it correctly, which is really good. Very well done. But literally everything else is not just wrong, but...
What happens when a former president with a notorious temper takes aim at a comedian during one of the biggest live events of the year? Jimmy Kimmel didn't just respond, he humiliated Trump in front of millions, and his epic clapback had the entire Oscars audience roaring. But what exactly did Kimmel say that left Trump fuming and the internet buzzing? Let me show you. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Oscars night always promises glitz, glamour, and a few surprises, but no one expected Donald Trump to steal focus from Hollywood's biggest evening. Yet, right in the middle of the festivities, Trump's words managed to sneak their way into the event, though not in the way he'd probably hoped. On his Truth Social platform, Trump fired off a rant aimed directly at Jimmy Kimmel, calling him embarrassing and tearing apart his hosting skills. Classic Trump, right? The man never misses a chance to turn a petty dig into some grandiose insult. What Trump didn't seem to anticipate, though, was that Kimmel wouldn't just let it slide. In fact, Trump's post quickly turned into the punchline of the night. Kimmel, ever the professional at working a live crowd, got wind of the post and decided to not only read it out loud, but use it to create one of the evening's most talked about moments. Standing in front of a room packed with the biggest names in entertainment, he wasted zero time before dismantling Trump's insult in trademark Kimmel fashion. "Make America great again," Kimmel said, smirking as he referenced Trump's infamous slogan. How about you start with getting a hobby first?
The first president to be on trial for a criminal offense for paying hush money to a pornographic film star. Maybe a catch with Barron in the yard? No. Santa Claus got up bright and early to post 165 venomous words about, "Don't read his truth, Jimmy. Please don't do this," they said. He was made to look like a fool, which he is, and at the same time go down in television history as the worst host ever of the once vaunted Academy Awards. The truth about how bad a job he was doing that night right before he stumbled through announcing the biggest award of all.
The crowd erupted. A-listers in tuxedos and gowns couldn't contain their laughter, clapping and cheering as Kimmel turned Trump's insult into a roast of his social media fixation. And then came the now famous punchline. See if you can guess which former president just posted that on Truth Social. The room absolutely lost it. Laughter filled every corner, with some of Hollywood's finest visibly shaking their heads at the absurdity. It wasn't just funny, it was the kind of cutting moment that reminded everyone why Kimmel is so good at what he does. He had taken Trump's insult and flipped it to make his critic look small, desperate, and completely predictable. It wasn't just a clash between two big personalities. It was a live, unscripted cultural moment that perfectly captured why Hollywood and Trump will likely never see eye to eye. And believe it or not, Kimmel wasn't ready to drop the mic just yet. After the Oscars, Trump couldn't let it go. He jumped back on Truth Social for a follow-up rant, doubling down on his attack and calling Jimmy Kimmel a washed-up TV host, while accusing the Academy of having terrible ratings.
All day Monday, he was all day yesterday. Today he had a day off, and how did he spend that? Brunch with Melania? No. Who still hasn't recovered from his horrendous performance and big ratings drop as host of the Academy Awards, especially when he showed he suffered from TDS, commonly known as Trump derangement syndrome. Maybe we should be worried about him wrong. Like maybe we should take the keys away from Grandpa wrong. Let's go through it again and just do a fact check line by line, starting with stupid Jimmy Kimmel. All right, that part might be true. He suffered from TDS, commonly known as Trump derangement syndrome. Well, now that is false. And there's only one person who suffered from Trump derangement syndrome. His name is Donald Trump. Okay.
Now, most people might feel the sting of being publicly dragged by a former president, but Kimmel? He turned Trump's fury into comedic fuel for one of his sharpest, funniest monologues to date. Kimmel opened the segment with a sarcastic grin, announcing, Breaking news, everyone. I've officially been deemed one of the dumbest human beings ever by the same guy who suggested injecting bleach to cure COVID. And just like that, the audience was hooked. But Kimmel wasn't done. This takedown wasn't going to rely on just one well-timed punchline. He had receipts. Kimmel pulled up a highlight reel of Trump's own blunders, like the time he confused 9/11 with 7-Eleven during a speech. The crowd howled with laughter. Washed-up TV host? Kimmel quipped. At least I don't confuse national tragedies with convenience stores. From there, Kimmel set his sights on Trump's bizarre Oscars fixation.
Stupid Jimmy Kimmel. We're off to a good start. And the winner is. Instead, he stammered around as he opened the envelope. Supposedly, his wife and even management begged him not to do it. He was doing that night right before he stumbled through announcing the biggest award of all, Picture of the Year. All right, two things here. Maybe three even. Number one, I didn't present the award for I'm Me. You'd think he would know that because I'm pretty sure say hello to my little friend is what he said to Stormy Daniels. Like,
It's been months, buddy. Move on already. He joked, before pointing out how much time Trump seemed to spend obsessing over Hollywood instead of focusing on, well, literally anything else a former president might do. It was classic Kimmel, effortlessly weaving humor with a biting critique. He even snuck in another jab at Trump's infamous slogan saying, "Is this how you plan to make America great again? By hate-watching award shows and trolling comedians on social media?" The segment went viral almost instantly, with fans and critics alike praising Kimmel's ability to spin Trump's insults into comedic gold. On Twitter, clips of Kimmel's monologue were everywhere, and the overwhelmingly positive reactions made one thing clear. Once again, Trump's attempt to take down Kimmel had backfired. Instead of looking authoritative, Trump came off as thin-skinned and preoccupied, and Kimmel came out looking smarter, funnier, and completely unbothered. And for Kimmel, it was just another opportunity to remind everyone why he's one of TV's sharpest voices.
Picture of the Year. It was a classic joke, one of the biggest ever in show business. And to top it off, he forgot to say the famous and mandatory line by his use of the word vaunted. He was even able to spell it correctly, which is really good. Very well done. But literally everything else is not just wrong, but that's debatable. That's a matter of opinion. Who still hasn't recovered from his horrendous performance and big ratings drop as host of the Academy Awards. Oh, that's weird because I was the host. The host doesn't present awards. The presenters present the awards, and the person who presented the award was Al Pacino, not me. We are different people.
Jimmy Kimmel didn't just roast Donald Trump, he peeled back the layers of how thin-skinned and predictable the man really is, even as he gears up for another presidential campaign. Trump's obsession with throwing punches at Hollywood, only to have them turned into internet punchlines, says plenty about his priorities and his ego. Kimmel proved once again why humor is the ultimate defense against insecurity and pettiness, turning Trump's rants into headline-making comedy. As for Trump, maybe he should spend less time rage posting on Truth Social and more time figuring out how to avoid being the butt of every joke.